Hello and welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad you're here. Today we're talking a little bit more about the Sister Wives one-on-ones. We're going to talk a little bit about part 1 and part 2, kind of mix it all together because we're actually going to focus a bit more on Suki. I think most of us feel a little disappointed in this, right? They haven't really asked the questions that we would like to have asked. It seems like Cody sort of runs the show and gets away with not answering things. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and show some of the moments that I found frustrating because I didn't think Suki handled it the way she should have, or I felt like maybe there was some bias in the questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, there's one more thing. I am thinking about doing a video about questions I wish Suki had asked, but I also would love to have ones that you guys wish Suki had asked in the video. So if you have any questions that you think they're not asking that should have been asked, go ahead and leave those in the comments. But otherwise, now let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I had a problem with was during the part 2 of the one-on-ones, I didn't like how Suki talked to Mary about the possibility of a reconciliation. She told Mary about the whole issue with Christine like it was a fact. She never said, well, Cody says, Cody says this happened. She acted like it was an actual fact. Listen to how she confronted Mary about it.
Christine found out about it and Christine balked at a reconciliation.
I mentioned it in my recap of that one-on-one. I felt like it was just a lot of pot stirring. She goes in there and tells Mary about it like it's a fact. And then she says, Christine said that she wouldn't have done that and that she would never have tried to discourage a reconciliation between you and Cody. So you can tell Mary's like, oh, I'm glad to hear that. But she doesn't stop there. Then she goes on to talk about Robin agreeing with Cody. And I'm like, what is the point of this? Why is this happening? Did you guys feel like season 17 was in any way about Mary and Cody? I didn't even think they would bring this up. I had no clue that the one-on-ones were going to go in this direction. And a part of me wonders if that's what season 18 is going to focus on, is Mary and Cody trying to get back together. Because remember at the end of season 17, it might have been earlier in the beginning, there's that part where Cody talks about how now he has like more feelings for Mary because things aren't going well with Christine and he sees her loyalty. So I'm like, is that what season 18 is going to be about? Are we going to see Mary get like reeled back into Cody? Because I just don't want it. I don't want it to happen. But yeah, I just did not like the way Suki handled this. And I feel a little bit bad being critical of her because I think I would like her as a person. I'm going to use Gwen Brown's line there. I think I would actually like her as a person, but I just don't like the way she does these one-on-ones. The next clip I'm going to throw in is less about Suki and more about Cody Brown. Cody, quit touching people. Don't touch people. And maybe it doesn't bother Suki, but it would bother me. I would be like, dude, keep your hands to yourself. But she seems, I guess maybe she's used to him being like this when they're doing these one-on-ones. But man, why does he have to lean over and touch people? Why does he have to get in people's space like that? He did it on the show too. Remember when he leaned over into Janelle's space when they were sitting at the restaurant table talking? Like, back up, Cody Brown.
It's okay.
Mary and I could work it out maybe.
My next issue sort of goes back to the Mary situation again. And listen to what Robin says. I want you to listen to what Robin says about what she saw with Christine when it came to the reconciliation.
I just saw her kind of flipping out and I didn't know what it was about.
So she says there she saw her flipping out and she didn't know what it was about. It could have been about anything. And according to Cody, it was around the time he showed them all one house. And we know Christine didn't want to live in one house. So I would have assumed that is what she was flipping out about. But no, Robin doesn't think that. Robin's using this and sort of, actually, I'm going to give Robin some credit. She says twice when she's sitting there with Suki that she really didn't know if it had to do with Mary. But when Suki goes to Mary, that isn't at all how she makes it sound. Listen to what she says about Robin and the situation with Christine. So Robin
But
does,
Robin does
remember
remember it. Robin
well,
does
according to
remember
Robin,
it. Yeah.
she remembers the
Interesting.
conversation.
I think it was a
but
moment
no
that he wanted
details.
to.
And she actually says at one point that she didn't know that it had to do with that. Like, Robin actually acknowledges that she's not really sure what it had to do with. She just sort of witnessed a conversation. And I'm guessing before they went on to do these one-on-ones, Cody kind of got in her ear and was like, yeah, remember that time at the house? That was all about Mary. But Robin herself is saying she isn't sure. But when Suki takes it to Mary, it almost makes it sound like a fact. And then she says, you know, I think there was a moment where Cody did want to reconcile. If you watch the show, there have definitely been times it seemed like Cody was slightly interested in reconciling with Mary, but he flips and flops so much. And when he does go the other way, where he's like, I don't want to get back with her, which is more often than not, when he does that, he is mean. He says things that are really, really cold. And to me, those things outweigh the few little slivers of hope that he gives her. Like, his coldness and his certainty that it is over is far greater than any chance he has given us that he's getting back with Mary. So I don't understand why she's acting like Mary missed out on some big reconciliation. I just don't think that was it. And I don't think Christine would have had the ability to have stopped it, specifically because Cody says he's like the man in charge, right? He's the leader. So how would Christine be able to actually stop him from reconciling with his first wife? My next issue was with sort of how she talked to Christine. I just noticed moments where she questioned her or kind of pushed her for more when it was unnecessary. And one example was when they talked about what it was like to live with Mary. Cody had given examples of things Mary would do. Then Janelle gave examples of things Mary would do. And then when it was Christine's turn to talk, she said Mary could be aggressive. And Suki said, define aggressive. And so Christine tried to explain what it was like for her. But listen to what Suki says next.
I feel like I need some examples.
The kitchen was an issue when we all shared the same kitchen. What time we cooked, what we cooked.
I don't know if it was really Suki asking that bothered me, or the fact that we basically heard the same answer 3 times on the show. And I'm like, that's all they could come up with to put in these one-on-ones. I mean, we have a strong confirmation now that living with Mary is really difficult, but I don't feel like I needed Cody, Janelle, and Christine to tell me that, Mary likes a specific detergent to be used in the house. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Suki, maybe it's more how it got edited, but it just felt like we were hearing the same thing over and over again. I wanted a little bit more. The next part that I took issue with was how she talked to Christine about being mean to the other sister wives. And I can't really put my finger on it, but something about this bothered me. If it bothered you guys, let me know. If it didn't and you thought it was okay, let me know. I don't know what it is about this, but I'm going to put it in here. This is the part where Suki talks to Christine about being mean to the other sister wives. And she asks Christine if she realized that was what Cody meant. Like, venting about the other wives is being mean to them. And Christine says, no, I didn't realize it until now. And then Suki asks a question, and I'm going to put in a little clip here.
But then why wouldn't you tell him? Like, I don't understand why you're saying I'm being mean to your sister wives. I don't get it. I'm not mean. Give me an instance. Give me examples.
Yeah, I said, I don't know what you mean, and we just tried to drop it. And
Yeah, why?
Dig into
It really felt like Suki was pushing her for some sort of answer, but I don't think there was any answer to give there. If you watch the show, it felt like Christine was really sure of her decision to leave, and she wasn't interested in disputing things or arguing about things. She remained calm in conversations. She didn't engage in arguments. She was done. So when Cody was standing there on that porch yelling about how she was mean to the sister wives, I think Christine was sort of like, I'm going to get through this. I know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to argue. She never raised her voice. She stayed out of the argument with Cody. And it feels like Suki wanted to know why. Like, why didn't you say more? And I like, does Suki watch the show? Do you think she watches the show? To me, it wasn't even the first question she asked about the venting and all of that. That made sense to me because I didn't realize until the one-on-one that when Cody was talking about being mean, he was talking about Christine talking to him about the wives. I didn't know that was what Cody meant. That was actually probably one of the most interesting parts of the show to me. But pushing her for why she didn't go into it more with Cody, I don't know. It looked like Christine was uncomfortable with the question too. The next thing that bothered me was this question that Suki asked Cody, and it felt like Cody got to write the question. I'm like, no one is asking him this. No viewer wants him to answer this question because no one is even asking it. I don't even know, guys. It feels like Cody must have a hand in the things that are brought up. But go ahead and listen to this question. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, who wants to know this? Who wants to give Cody this? You know, I feel like even asking it kind of gives him some sort of confirmation about what he thinks, and I don't want that to happen. But go ahead and listen to the question.
Is it as simple as that, and it has nothing to do with you, Cody? It's just that Christine is a different person now,
Yeah,
period.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm fine with that.
So there you go. I feel like Cody is like, yes, somebody gets it. It's that Christine has changed, and it has nothing to do with me. You know what? Christine has changed, but it has everything to do with Cody. She could have changed, and he could have been a great husband, and they would still be married. But the only thing I will say, in defense of Suki here, even though the question bothered me, it did lead into the whole conversation where Cody talks about how Christine is trying to make him look bad, and she's doing it because that's the only way she's going to get a good man, which was very entertaining and probably one of the better lines of the show as far as Cody goes. So I guess it did lead to that, which was good. But man, when I heard the question, I was like, who is writing these? Is Cody the writer? Is he the one writing the questions? So the last thing I want to throw in here is a question that Suki asked Christine, and I know it's not Suki's fault. This is definitely not her doing. It's the language that Cody uses, but it's another one of those times I'm like, why was this question asked? It was super offensive. She should have said, you know, Cody says that he's not attracted to you because of your behaviors. But the way she asked the question, I just didn't like it. I didn't feel like she gave enough context around why she was using the words she did. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in here.
Do you believe the lack of attraction is an excuse just for your bad behavior, or was it the bad behavior that led to the lack of attraction?
I don't know, but that statement just made me mad.
Yeah, it makes me mad too, Christine, and I wish Suki had given more context. It sort of felt like she was asking the question, where we all know that language actually comes from Cody. But I think overall what the problem is she's not asking the things people want to really know. And there's one part of me that's just like, she's getting it wrong. And there's this other part of me that wonders if, much like the wives, does she have to tiptoe around Cody? Because he will not only not answer questions, you know, I could see Cody just walking off and not doing anymore. And so I wonder if she sort of tiptoes around him, trying to get where she wants to go, but, you know, having to detour because we can't go straight there with Cody. You can't just ask the questions directly. So I don't know. It's just been a little bit disappointing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and let me know what questions you wish she would ask. I look forward to reading them. I love reading your guys' comments. That is probably the best part of doing this for me. So let me know what you think down below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click like and subscribe.